A brand new colorway of the Air Jordan 11 Low with patent leather is releasing, but this time it's for the ladies. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. First things first, the colorway is called Legend Pink. Not sure why, because when they say Legend Blue, it's because they can't use Columbia Blue, because that's supposed to be a Nike color code. This is supposedly. And so when we got the Legend Blues, that's why they changed the name to Legend Blue, and why the blue is slightly off from the original release. These guys right here, again, called the Legend Pinks. It's an interesting look for the shoe. A very soft pink, except for the patent leather portion. I think that's a very vibrant. And they almost look like they could have fit into the original releases of this shoe. So for those of you guys that don't know, the Air Jordan 11 debuted in 1995 as a mid. They ran through the 1996 season also as mids. During the summer though, they did release two low tops, but they were called the IE, at least one of them was. But those two shoes featured no patent leather whatsoever. Instead, they looked like they were more built for an outdoor sport because they had ventilation points along the entire upper. However, when you fast forward to the year 2000, that's when we started seeing the Air Jordan 11 release as a retro for the first time. That's also when the Air Jordan 11 Space Jam first officially released at retail. But with the retro releases from 2000 and 2001, during the summer of 2001, they actually started releasing low tops that looked like this. So they were not the ventilated versions. Instead, they were chopped down versions of the mid. They featured patent leather. This might have been what most people were expecting originally during the 1995-96 run when an Air Jordan 11 Low was released. So up until that point, there hadn't been a low top Air Jordan in forever. I mean, what, there was the 1, there was the 2, the 3, 4, 5, all mids, 6s, highs, no lows, 7, no lows, 8s, no lows, 9s, no lows, 10s, no lows. But it came back for the Air Jordan 11, so I don't know if people back then were disappointed. I don't ever remember hearing about that. I remember people wearing one of each. Yeah, even back then, I'm serious. Like, there was kids at my high school that they would each buy one and then they would swap shoes, like a left or a right. I'm not joking.
That's adorable, like friendship bracelets.
Kind of, but cooler. So maybe in 2001, this is what most people were expecting. I know that when I saw these for the first time, not in this colorway, but just in general, the patent leather version of the lows, I was blown away. I was like, holy crap, that's awesome. Also, fun fact, this was not the first time that we saw the Air Jordan 11 in low top form with patent leather. That, do you know when?
It was on court. He would change into it during halftime.
That's right. He did that throughout the season. He wore a PE pair of the black and reds, and then during the Chicago championship parade when they were celebrating like in Chicago, downtown Chicago and everything like that, he actually wore a pair of custom Concord lows. And back then we were all watching like this stuff on tube TVs, so we didn't know what the f was up. It wasn't until many years later when we started seeing, you know, pictures and things like that unveiled online and stuff and in magazines where we were like, he was wearing lows that whole time? It was crazy. But anyways, as far as this release is concerned, this is a women's drop. Women's releases are different than grade school. Women's releases are built exactly like the men's. So there's no skimping out on tech or any of that stuff. They get better materials usually too, which this one does. If you were really excited about the Space Jams and you were let down, kind of like me, I was a little bit let down. They looked great, but the quality wasn't all there. This release kind of makes up for it with the one caveat that this is not the Space Jam Low. So the outsole is still translucent. It's in Legend Pink. We've got white herringbone traction pods. Underneath that, you have a full-length carbon fiber shank plate. This feels weird, I will say. It doesn't feel like the normal stuff. Normally you can feel the ridges, like how it's like actually like interwoven, and this feels smooth. So I don't know if this is actual carbon fiber, if they changed something, doesn't feel quite right. But moving on up, we have a Phylon midsole. Inside of that is a full-length air unit. And while this is not the exact air unit that's inside of Air Jordan 11s, if you wanted a little bit of a visual, this is kind of what it looks like in there. Now on top of that is a real polyurethane insole. Why the f wasn't this on the Space Jam ones, man? Like, what the hell? I'm happy for the ladies, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, why, bro? Anyways, you guys lucked out with this release. You got a real polyurethane insole in there. Knowing Jordan Brand, this was probably an accident. And yes, that's sarcasm. Now moving on up from that, the materials on this is also nicer, at least the patent leather, than the Space Jams. So the patent that you see here is actual patent leather. You can see the layering of the materials with all the different color changes is on there. So the top layer, obviously Legend Pink. Right underneath that, you can see the synthetic coating that it's actually attached to, which is a little white layer. And then underneath that, there's a thin gray layer. You know what that is? That's actual leather. You know where that wasn't? On the Space Jam lows.
No, don't like that.
Even the tiny little piece of leather back here is actual leather. It's not great leather, but it's actual leather. I will say the Jumpman looks cute back there this time. I don't know if it's because it's in pink, but it works. You got the 23 right there on the back. The rest of the material is pretty standard. It's that Cordura mesh. They also used to call this ballistic style mesh. It's along the entire upper. The tongue is made out of it too, and then you have the Jumpman Jordan tab, not Jumpman Jam. That was only on the Space Jams, the legitimate Space Jams, both in the 2000 launch and the most recent 2023 launch. Oh no, wait, are we in 2024?
We are.
I'm a year off. That's
Great Scott. I know, this is heavy.
And they do come with extra laces, so equipped is the standard thick rope lace. This is supposed to mimic or represent the net of a basketball hoop. And just in case you wanted a more feminine touch, they do still come with small rope laces, but they're a lot thinner than the originals. Now, as far as the fit is concerned, for whatever reason, the Air Jordan 11 lows with the patent leather, at least these modern or newer releases, they feel a little bit big to me. So if you wanted a super snug fit, you might want to go down half a size. They will be super snug until you break them in. But once you do that, they'll crease better, they'll move better with your foot. There won't be any flopping in the heel. It'll just be a better overall situation. However, if you're a wide footer or you don't like breaking in your shoes, going true to size is definitely an option. Just for me, I don't like to have that much space in the toe and everything, so I like to go down half a size in these. And if you're interested in grabbing a pair of these, they will be available locally here in the Sacramento area over at Phenom. They're located in the Doco Shopping Center. If you were interested in shopping there, make sure that you either A, check out their website, which is linked down below in the description box, or B, check out their Instagram page to find out what their launch procedure is going to be like. And with all that being said, what is today's question of the day?
In your opinion, what is the best Jordan that was released that Jordan did not play in?
Did not play in?
I just figured the automatic answer from you would be the 28th.
I don't even think of, I know that I should, but like, I don't think of anything really past the 23.
Really?
Yes, and I even think that's wrong of me, but like for some reason it stopped there.
I just thought this would be interesting because there's so many people who are like, anything past the 13 or 14.
There are.
So I'm like, well, now you guys got to go think.
I know, but see, that's the weird thing though, is that like I think of like his best releases are post like early retirement. Granted, there's the Wizards era, so like there's that, so obviously he came back. But I think of from the 15 to the 23 as like retired MJ, even though he did play in stuff. So that's what I mean. Like when he was a Wizard, he played in lots of retros. He played in 3s, he played in 9s, he played in all kinds of stuff. So what was the question? The best? Like, is this just a personal opinion? Like,
Yeah,
what
in
is
your
my
opinion,
favorite Air Jordan that he didn't wear?
Yes.
Or the best performing that he didn't wear? Because that would be
I would
post 23.
I would assume best performing. What is the best Jordan that was released that Jordan did not play in?
Okay, so yeah, that could be anything past, 23, obviously. There's the 2011s, which were really fun. There's the 2012s, there's the 28s, the 29s, there's the 34s, the 35, 36, the 38s are great.
You can only crown one.
I know, so I'm gonna omit the performance side of things, and I'm gonna change the question up a little bit to what Air Jordan would I have liked to have seen him play in? If that's the case, and people are gonna fucking hate this, but it's okay. It's one of my favorite Air Jordans, the Air Jordan 15.
He never played in those?
No, he was retired. He played in the 16, and he played in the 17, and he played in the 18. But the 15s are like the redheaded stepchild of the Air Jordan line, like all together. I know that a lot of people roast 2s, but I think that the 15s is like, what is the word?
They're just ugly. They look like somebody was trying to do origami and gave up.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
They're so like
Are
angled.
you talking about the tongue? No.
The whole thing.
Nope.
They're so ugly.
But yeah, that's what I would choose. If you want to answer that question, I guess you can layer it if you wanted to. If you wanted to say like, what's the best performing Air Jordan that he never wore? I'd also like to slide in the Air Jordan 19 into that conversation, because that's a great shoe too. That would be a fun question in and of itself. And then if you wanted to take like, what did I say? Like, I changed it to like your favorite Air Jordan that he never wore. So like whatever that is, that would be cool too, as far as like your visuals and stuff. Because I know that the 15s are not the greatest performing shoe. Like I'll admit that. I played in all of them. That's definitely not one of the best ones, but they have sentimental value to me. It's nostalgic. I just love that thing. I wore that shoe all senior year. Those white and reds, they were so dope. So yeah, feel free to sound off below. Let us know. Also, what do you think about these? Comment down below in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you guys. Are you grabbing a pair? Are you not? Are you kind of like dumbfounded that they put real patent leather on these guys and a real polyurethane insole and extra laces, and we couldn't get none of that in the Space Jam lows? Like, bro, come on, man. But anyway, sound off below, let us know. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. So until then, have a good one. Oh, and just in case you were wondering, yes, this shirt, we have a very few left. We pre-ordered them, they sold. With the money that we made of it, we added some more extras. So if you wanted to grab one, go for it. I think there's only like a few of each size. So yeah, sensapparel.com.